in that studio?
Since 2022.
That's your first. That's your first time working at a studio, right? No.
For someone, yeah, I work for someone and with someone, yeah, like as far as the studio, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Like, but how has that experience been so far? I've been there twice, right?
Been there a couple times.
Yeah. We did one of my shoots there too.
Bro, how is the experience working at the studio?
Yeah, how has it been so far?
So far, how is that? It's been phenomenal. I don't necessarily think that I grasped what I'm supposed to get, you know what I mean, from working there.
Right.
Yeah, no, it's crazy because at first, and I paid my dues there one way or another, at least the minimum.
Yeah.
I mean, I can also say it very pridefully, but it's like maybe not, but I feel like I paid my dues in a way, because then I'm gonna continue doing so. You know, it's not like, okay, I'm done and I did what I had to do. So what I mean by pay my dues is, I feel like I gave more than the minimum.
Yeah.
In terms of time, effort, energy, skill, and whatever it took for success to be, you know, there.
But then, what did you gain though? Because I mean, for context, I know this, but the public doesn't, right? But you also, from what you told me, started working there to get experience, right?
Oh yes, cause
so it's like, yes, you gave a lot, but do you feel like you've do you feel like now you've, after 5 years or 4 years, you know, where you are right now as far as what you learned from the person you're working with?
Oh yeah.
You feel like you is that what you've envisioned?
No, okay. But I kind of suspect it to be beyond what I envisioned. You know, sometimes you want something and you don't necessarily know what it's going to take, or you don't know what it takes to kind of achieve the vision that you have. Yeah. And you're surprised because you really want for something to happen, but you're ready to go through what it takes. Yeah. And I feel like he taught me a lot of skills that I never had, and I'm still learning. That's what I mean. I feel like my time there is not necessarily over, and I'm not having necessarily grasped what is that I'm supposed to grasp. It's like I'm there still looking at things through maybe my old lens. Maybe I'm still looking at things through a bias, you know, through certain biases. Like maybe this is how I see things. Yeah, you know, this is not the way you see things might not be the way things are. So maybe there I'm seeing the truth of what it is like to what I want, as opposed to what I want the reality to be. And the reality, my reality, at first when I first entered it was glamorous, you know, like shooting models here and there. Yeah. And then it's like, no, dude, like there's a certain decorum that goes about having a studio. You need to have a certain standard and commitment. Yes, like the customer is king. Like not customer first, always service. And that's one of the things that I learned. For example, and I'm continuing to learn, and I don't feel like I'm great at it. But how do you become great at something? Like you first encounter the thing, you learn about it, and then what do you do is there's repetition to it. Yeah, it takes 1 time, 2 times. Sometimes it takes 7, sometimes it takes 1,000 times before you finally get it. And I feel like that's what's going on, and I like that it's still going on at least.
But then, like, so how? What's the impact of? Because now what you're experiencing is kind of like the difference, or what I've witnessed a little bit. Because I've been in a workspace where both of you guys were there, and I kind of like see how the older generation operates in the field that you're in compared to like how we operate or you operate, right? So like, how is that experience like working with someone that is not in the same age gap as you?
Okay, that's an interesting one.
So like how have you managed that? Is it a lot of clashes, or is it more so like, learning from each other, or what is it like? Or does it even block your creativity a little bit?
No, I think it's all about positioning, how you position yourself.
Yeah.
I think there are going to be conflicts like in every relationship.
Yeah.
But you really make it what you want it to be, because at the end of the day, it's not like you go there, it's not like I'm not paying my boss or my mentor or anything for him to teach me at the end of the day. I can only go there. I feel like I can only go there, absorb and take as much as I can take.
Yeah.
And what was the question again? Because I tend to forget questions.
I was just saying, like, what is it like to work with someone that's...
that is.
Yeah.
Well, that's one of the things that you learn along the way, to listen. That's a skill that I like to promote.
Yeah.
Listening. You like to listen. And there's a video that I'm supposed to post about how that's the one thing about photography, because it has created this avenue for me to embrace different perspectives. It's like sometimes you go to a job and your boss might not even be that accessible because of your position. Let's say if you're an intern, you got to know your position. And I feel like I'm kind of doing the same thing. And the fact that photography was able to provide that for me, to still put me in a place with masters, with people that have achieved a certain status or result. And at that moment, I feel like it's all about me. Of course, there's going to be conflict because, let's say, generational divide, or just his way of working, but at that moment, because of positioning, I know that I am less, and there's no way that I can start indulging in any sort of like self-thought or personal or arrogant thoughts. I'm there to learn first thing first. You know what I mean? So I'm catching everything he does, everything he says, almost like I want to emulate. I kind of want to be like him, and I'm gonna try to do that while still maintaining who I am. So I'm gonna, you know what I mean?
That was my next point, because the industry that you're in, which is photography, I feel like yes, you can get, someone that's been in a lot more rooms than you, of course, like you're gonna want to learn a lot from the person. But I also feel like everybody has their own style. I can shoot a wedding. You can shoot a wedding. We both have 10 years experience, but my shooting style is different than yours. Doesn't mean yours is wrong either. You see what I'm saying? Because photography is an industry that's very, I feel like, subjective. You know what I mean? It's very subjective. There is no right or wrong, but there is, your style and my style. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I feel like we can coexist. So now, once you stay in a certain space with someone, you really gotta be strong enough not to unconsciously be influenced by the person's style, because you admire him so much. Now you're like, oh, are you giving up on your style?
I love that.
You see what I'm saying? For his style.
I've encountered that for sure.
Yeah.
One thing that I learned from my time being there is the use of a tripod. Yeah. I didn't come up with emphasizing the use of a tripod. It's like you just hold the camera with your hand and bam, bam, bam. Yeah. And this is it. But going there, it's like, dude, how do you not use the tripod? I'm looking at it, what do you mean? It's been a couple of years that I've done this. I've achieved a little bit of something without ever emphasizing on using
a tripod.
And it got to a point where I did that. I wouldn't call it compromise, but everywhere I would go, I would want to use the tripod.
See?
And I'm trying to use the tripod for everything, and that's a part of the process of learning too. Because I feel like at that moment I just had to learned the importance of tripod,
Yes.
and thank God I just kind of look back at it. I was like, hold on, okay, this is how I kind of understood that I needed to grasp the knowledge for what it was, and understand that it was a principle more than a must. You know, it's not like you know what I mean, like a tripod. Masters, I've used tripods over the years, so it's like you come up and you want to be considered a master, you want to achieve mastery, you want to be in a room, you have to understand the importance of a tripod. Like if you don't, then you're missing a point.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like now I understand that, but I also understand that, you know, like the generation that would come and that would not necessarily understand. So now because I'm a master, I can just like not ridicule you, but like I can teach you about something. It's like, you know what I mean? But I can teach you about just, hey man, but like, where's your tripod? Like, like, because tripod has been around for I don't know how long, but you know, it's not for any reason.
I get the point there, because I feel like tripod also symbolizes professionalism. Because I feel like I had a shoot with this guy once. I'm not gonna say no names, but bro, I swear to God, we got to the spot and again, we had a meeting before, right? Just for me to be able to show him, you know, my mood board and everything, how I wanted the shoot to go. And there was a lot of static shots, right? And it's a video. So of course you're gonna need a tripod, right? So now I get on a set and then I'm like, and he has you know the camera he had? He had the, I think you mentioned that camera yesterday. You told me to download the app.
Oh, Blackmagic.
The Blackmagic drone. You know how heavy that is? You know what he was doing? Niggas were holding that.
And see, I'm promise you.
I was like, what? Nah.
Even and then, I look at guys online. I mean, it's not like I look from a superiority standpoint, but I'm like, oh, I see the difference now. Because it's like when you need a tripod most of the time.
No, you need it, especially for, you know, the example that I just gave. And we ended up paying full price and everything, but we never used this footage because it was bad. Even when we were recording it, like I was feeling down already. I was
you know, some tripod costs more than cameras now. You know, that's how crazy it is. Like sometimes, like you get into an industry, and that's what I'm doing. I got into the studio with a master, with a master of the industry, and I cannot minimize anything that he's doing or that he's making available for me to learn. Point blank. So it's like, yes, I got carried away, taking a tripod everywhere. It's like, no, you know how I rolled away from kind of focusing on the tripod, over focusing on the tripod. I went to see, I always messed up the letters, ABDM or ABDM. It's a duo, one of the most regarded, highly regarded duo right now, in terms of portrait photography, at least when it comes to celebrity and all of that. But they're very good, like one of the best to do right now. And you know, it's a Q&A, whatever. I raise my hand and I'm like, you don't ever use a tripod? And they're like, yeah, but you know, you got to use it with purpose. You know, for when you need to, then you use a tripod. And I'm like, hold on. As all of a sudden, I remember struggling a little bit in the studio to realize certain
things don't need a tripod.
Yeah, certain things don't need a tripod. I'm like, and because when I look at the photos after the fact, I'm like, yeah, but the photos look very static. You know, they look like, you know, that's kind of what the master is teaching me. But I feel like if I just, you know, got a little bit more free, I would have delivered a better product. That's you know, at that moment I realized, okay, sometimes just you got to know what you're doing. You got to know exactly what you're doing, and to know what you're doing, that's what makes you a master. That's what makes you good at what you do. To know how to adapt, to know when to do what to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
At that moment, I knew that, man, for certain shoots, like some of the last shoot that I did, I didn't always have a tripod, but for some of the shoots, like if I shoot beauty and stuff like that, I know some photographer. I mean, for beauty, it's kind of, you know, a different perspective. Most of the time, I would probably use I would use the tripod. I would say 60-40, 60% of the time.
And again, I think we can go on and on and on regarding tripod, because for what I do, which is street photography, you can't use a tripod even. Like you can, but it's like,
dude, I would argue against it, bro.
No, no, look, what I mean by that is, look, I want to shoot movements. I want to shoot emotions. I want to, bro, having a film camera, right, already is like, it takes you 1 second to get the shot. It takes me like 5. Because now, depending, let's say I haven't taken a picture for like a good 30 minutes and I'm walking around. Maybe now the sun is not hitting as hard. Right now, I need to, because I use fully mechanical cameras. So now I need to adjust, the aperture, the shutter speed, or whatever. Right? So now if I see a shot, right, it takes me a couple of seconds to adjust. And then now I take the shot, and I take a lot of movements, right? People passing, cars, whatever. So you gotta be quick. So now imagine me having a tripod. I'm only gonna get 1 shot a day, right? Out of 35, 36 exposures that I have available.
Yeah.
So
no, I agree with you. I think it goes back to knowing what you want to do.
Yeah,
knowing what you're going for.
Of course.
And that's when tripod comes in.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all across the board. It's the same thing. Like in videography. I'm not, not even filmmaker. Filmmaking most of the time.
Filmmaking is even more than tripod. You use like literal
right.
Yeah.
Videography is a lot more flexible because now you have monopods, for example. You have tripods, monopods. You could do shoulder rig. You could do shoulder rig. You could do gimbal. So it takes you back to knowing what you're going for and really understanding your tools. You gotta understand your tools in order to deliver the products. And I mean, it's the same all across the board, honestly.
Yeah, and speaking of that, man, I don't know if you've seen The Odyssey.
Yeah, I've seen The Odyssey.
Have you checked you're a cinematographer. I'm guessing you checked the behind the scenes. If you haven't, that's crazy.
I've checked some behind
the scenes. And what Christopher Nolan does, and first of all, this is the first movie that was ever shot entirely on a 70mm.
The IMAX.
IMAX, right? I looked at the behind the scenes, and there's no CGI, by the way. There was no green screen, no nothing. Everything was on. They traveled, I think, to 7 different countries for this joint. And I was so fascinated by it, because you know how passionate I am about film cameras. So seeing him shoot a whole movie with a film camera, right? Yeah. And then you know how the edits went to though? So they got the role, right? They developed it, right? Then they edited it, right? Then they looked at the edit digitally, and then they cut the film roll accordingly, and then they put it together, and that's how you watch it in certain movies. And that's how I watched it too. And it's so fire.
Yeah,
I'm fascinated by it.
I love. I think one thing that I love about Odyssey in terms of cinematography is Christopher Nolan's signature, like his cinematographic style.
Yeah,
like, I was able to see it. It was easy. It was.
It made it look easy.
I mean, when I say easy, because when you look at someone like, let's say, Tarantino, he's someone that does a lot of, to me, it's the style, that's his style, but it's a little unnecessary at times. But that plays into his style, and he has.
So you meant simple, I would say, for Christopher Nolan. It's like it's easy to watch. It's very.
No, it's not easy to watch, right? That part is easy to watch, but to me, it's a lot more poetic.
Yes.
It's a lot more poetic because.
Yes.
I mean, Tarantino does the same thing, don't get me wrong, but these are, I guess, cinematographic principles. But, like, there's one of the shots I like the most is like, and there's a shot that probably appeared 3 times throughout the whole movie.
The Odyssey? we're talking about?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
It's a shot of the sunset.
Man.
Like the boat moving on the sunset, and
Yes.
we see the sun reflection and everything.
Yes.
And it was just so. There's something about this shot, man. It could be a picture. It could be a painting.
It could be yes,
You know what I'm
yes,
saying?
and I see exactly what you're saying because there's this shot where Odysseus is walking alone in the desert, and there's a sunset behind him. It's like a shot from like a very weird angle looking down, but then you can see the horizon. You can see so there's almost like all the three. There's like a foreground, and background, everything. And I was like, whoa, how did he even pull that off, dog?
You know, yeah. See, that's what I'm saying. And like Nolan is not even the movement where. I mean, I don't know if it had to do with. The thing is that I need to go watch more of his movies. Maybe that was just made for that particular movie.
Yeah.
But everything was very like simple. There wasn't any like harsh movement. Like it's almost as if I know. I mean, I've seen the guy.
Yeah, the IMAX is crazy to work with. The camera is crazy to work with.
Yeah, so I figure I don't know if they use a tripod or not. I should know those kind of stuff, but I like the way he shoot because when as a cinematographer, I feel like I know my style, but I'm also curious to try different things.
Yeah.
And I personally love static movements. I don't know how crazy that sounds like, but if I could use one place, a tripod, put a camera there and arrange everything around where the camera is going to be. So instead of moving the camera, so remember I say static movement?
Yeah.
There's a camera there, and I could either zoom with the lens or have the characters moving within the scene. You know what I mean? So my movements will come only from the lens or the character.
And I love that. And I feel like, I don't know, well, we've had to exchange a lot on videos and stuff, and I love the static shots. Like, I love static, and now the elements is moving within a certain box. And that's what I like a lot. And even in music videos, when I'm watching music videos, I think there's a lot of, like, you can see a lot of it in Kendrick Lamar's videos, right?
Yeah.
And
for example.
Yes. So they're moving within that frame, but that frame is not necessarily moving.
Yeah, I think that's the. Yeah. To me, that's the beauty, the poetry behind some of the static shots. The static shot, because you put the camera right there, like where the camera are. Yeah. But then you mentioned background, middle ground, foreground.
Yeah.
You know, to utilize the spatial awareness, like to utilize it, you know, to tell the story. Yeah. Like now, if somebody comes right there, right before the camera, and between you and the camera. Yeah. Now there's a foreground, and even for it tells a lot more of the story if the actors come and when it comes to staging. Yeah. If the characters place themselves wherever they're supposed to be, but we still see part of your face. Yeah. And now there's a level of perspective now at play. Now there's like we see your face. At first it was your face, the focus, but now we realize that there's someone else that's a little bigger than you. Yeah. And it might just mean that you're surrounded, or it might just mean that you have protection, but it might just mean that it might just be someone else that might be bigger than you. Yes. You know, and then that's just the foreground. You see, have the background, and then once you move, is there something behind you maybe that we haven't looked at? You know what I mean? Then all of that can just. And one thing I think that he used. I always mix the two. A wide aperture. What I'm trying to say, he probably opened up to probably a 1.8 or something like that. Yeah, I could be wrong. Yeah. But I love that aperture as well because perspective. I love perspective. If you're here, you're the focus. But all of a sudden, when you move, the focus might shift to the. Might shift. Or if the person next to you maybe has blood like going down, all of a sudden. There might be a shift of perspective that just goes from focusing on you to the blood. That's I see exactly what you're saying. Those sort of like,
it's a very subtle transition almost, but it's not really a transition. But it's like but it feels like one for the viewer though.
But imagine how it is like to write that, bro. Imagine how it is like to write that.
Yes.
Like I love your director that has that sense of details.
Yeah.
I mean, you know what I mean? Like I work with everything, but these type of details, like, oh, dude, like I work for free. What you talking about?
But who will have that sense of, because also like I feel like for those like sort of like movies, you can't really dwell so much on like those kind of details unless it's really tied to the story, if that makes sense. But if it's like maybe a short film or you know what I mean, you're just trying to paint your canvas for people to kind of like look at it real quick, then you can have heavy details on there. But if it's like a movie where it's like, let's say the Odyssey, even it actually still you could see a lot of like detailed stuff, but he can't dwell on certain things so much.
I agree.
You see what I'm saying?
No, you gotta. That's where I feel like it's important to introduce variety. I mean,
unless it's a horror movie, then you can kind of like use blood a lot.
See, that's what I'm saying. Like, horror movie would be more detail oriented, detail in your face. I was just thinking close-ups, medium close-ups, like, and then I'm like, the Odyssey has variety, right? It's a story. It's a beautiful story because it gives you wide lens. It gives you a very wide lens.
Very wide, dog.
I don't know if it gives you the aerial shot, but it gives you a wide lens. It gives you medium.
Yes.
I didn't pay attention to the close-ups, but I know.
Man, the close-ups though.
You got close enough.
Yes.
I guess it's a little hard to catch a close-up.
When they were at the, I don't remember the Odysseus, where it was the king or whatever, where his lady was waiting for him, right? Those shots where his wife was talking to his son, right? You have like very close-up shots there.
Okay.
Bro, those shots, I even took a picture of it on my phone. It was crazy. Then, having the 70mm IMAX on it is the highest of the qualities. And the crazy thing is that there is still I feel like there's a misconception about, on like film camera and digital. A camera being digital doesn't mean it's the highest quality. No, you know what I mean?
Of course.
So this is the highest quality we could get what we just watched with Christopher Nolan.